you.
Hi everyone. I'm one, it's like loads of you have been here for a hot minute listening to loads of people talk about Ali and all the great stuff that he did. I was in bed last week Saturday when my wife nudged me and said Ali's gone, and she knows like that's the only picture inside our house is Muhammad Ali. Well, it's actually a picture of him and Malcolm X. They're in that was 1965. They're in a cafe, and Malcolm X is peering over his shoulder. So to me, it was like kind of woke me up a bit. But it didn't really dawn on me. Then, because I work for Sky Sports, I get a phone call and they said, "Oh, Spencer, could you come in?" I said, "Greatly, I'll come in." It was like they wanted a black perspective. So I went down to give a black perspective. Our black perspective, no, we have to be real on this now. Our black perspective is this: that Ali was Golden Glove champion 1958, 1959, 1960, he boxes the Olympic qualifiers. He qualifies for the Olympics. He leaves from Louisville, Kentucky, where he's from, and goes out to Rome, where they hold the Olympic championships. He boxed 4 times. His last fight, he fights a Polish man who he beats Misklev, and he beats him for the gold medal. He was actually boxing as a light heavyweight. A lot of people don't know that. People think that he was heavyweight. He was a light heavyweight. That means he was fighting at 12 stone 7. Then from returning back with the gold medal, he goes to Louisville, Kentucky. It's a famous story, right? Where he goes into, because he's thinking, right, I beat everyone. I mean, I whooped everyone. I'm the champion of the world, and now obviously the segregation law. I'm immune from this now because I won the gold medal for my country. And he goes into a food place which is segregated, and they say that no, we don't serve Negroes. To Ali's replies, well, I don't eat them, I just want a hamburger. And they said, right, cool. He didn't get served. And legend has it that he took his medal and he threw it into the Louisville River. It's not true. He actually lost the medal. But because to get on white guilt, he would say that, no, I threw the medal in the river. The truth is that he never lost the medal. Read, there's 2 books, one by Tom Hauser. There's another book called The Ghost of Ali, or The Ghost of Manila, by Cram. Very, very good books. In that book, he actually lost the medals. That's not the point. The point is at the time when a man thought that I'm going to be accepted now because I've done something for my country, you weren't accepted. There was a time. The 60s was a different time. You speak to the elders, they tell you. It's like you speak to your parents, they'll tell you the 60s was a different time. Now, from that time of 1960, 1961, he meets a man called Captain Sam, and Captain Sam introduces him to the Nation of Islam. When he goes into the Nation of Islam, end of 61, he meets Malcolm X. He was under the tutelage and guidance of Malcolm X, who was under the tutelage and guidance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They don't touch none of this. Since Ali's, they don't touch nothing of the Nation of Islam. This is disgraceful. It's disgraceful because if Ali didn't meet anybody in the Nation of Islam, he most probably would have gone to war when he was drafted in 1967. 1964, he fights Sonny Liston. Everyone, I hear you guys talking about Sonny Liston, and some of you get a certain facts wrong, but it's cool. Because it's the love in the heart. I don't care about that, it's the love in the heart. 1964, he fights Sonny Liston. Prior to fighting Sonny Liston in 1963, he comes over here in Wembley Stadium in front of 35,000 people, fights a man called Henry Cooper. Henry Cooper is known for throwing a famous left hook that knocks him over. White people live to that for the rest of their days. Henry Cooper didn't win the fight, and they alleged that the story that they tore the glove to give him extra time. Now the greatest thing that we got YouTube, and we got archives that we can go and search back things now because they can't trick you no more. Because we can check these things because we got everything's documented. The time that Ali got hit with the left hook, Ali goes down, he's actually catches Kane, and he gets down, he gets knocked down. As he's knocked down, he gets up, the bell goes, and he's groggy-eyed. He sits down, he stands back up, Angelo on the knees, his corner man, trying to slap him into condition, saying, what's the matter with you? And he only had to spare 7 seconds. That was it. So the rumors that, Henry Cooper would have knocked out Ali if he wasn't given extra time and they didn't rip the glove. Because the story was they say like, oh yeah, he got knocked down, and when he was knocked down, they ripped the glove, then they had to go and get a new pair of gloves. Lies. None of that never happened. Right? This is the trick. Watch these tricky people, I'm telling you. Right. It didn't happen. After that, he's pitted in because he's number one contender now. He fights a man called Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was the Mike Tyson of his day. In fact, he was a better boy than Mike Tyson because he was actually connected with the mob. So he was gangster. Like real gangster, went jail and everything, was a bad man. Ali fights him. At the time, it was 7-1 underdog. Some people say 13-1. They asked 60, this fight was February 25th, 1964. There was 60 journalists at ringside for the fight. Out of the 66 journalists that were asked, 63 said Sonny Liston was going to destroy Muhammad Ali. After 7 rounds of fighting, Sonny Liston retires on his stool. Muhammad Ali is proclaimed the heavyweight champion of the world. And then he announces his conversion to the Nation of Islam, knowing no longer to be called Cassius Clay, but I want to be called by my rightful name of Muhammad Ali. Changed the whole world, because you got to think this is 1964 here, and here's somebody coming with a separatist movement. Now the separatist movement of Ali at this time here, his stand, he gets drafted in 1965, and he takes a test. The test that he takes, he fails it because he got 70% out of 100. 70% out of it's like an aptitude test. He fails the test. As he's raising in prominence now, the system, and no one can't say the system, because it actually is there. The system changed the ruling and dropped it from 17%, you can't fail. If you get underneath 15%, then you fail. So they tried to draft him. Ali famously said these words when he tried to draft him. He said, "No Viet Cong never call me no nigger." Nobody's mentioned this. Nobody's even spoken about it. I don't get this part there. Nobody has spoken about. None of this don't come up. This was like prophetic. He said, "No one. Listen, I ain't got no argument with no Chinese, no brown people, none of these people. They ain't tried to bully me. My bullies are right here in America. You, my opposers. The white people are my opposers. Don't talk about the white people today. White people born that, right? Right. But back then, you know, what Ali stood for in a stand, you have to think about it. He had 10 title defenses within that time, made something like $3.2 million. Convert that to today's days, it's a bag of money. Now, at the time when he took the stand to say that he's not going to war, he turned down millions and millions of dollars not to go to war. Now, check this one out. Name me one sports personality today, one that would say, I'm gonna stand up for my beliefs, my religious beliefs, for my people. I ain't gonna do such and such and lose all of these endorsements, lose all of these millions of pounds, lose all the pats on the back. Name me one person. I'll give you time to think. We like to talk about going to jail. He didn't go to jail. He got fined $10,000 and threatened to go to jail. He actually didn't go to jail, but it adds to the thing that we think, right, he went to jail. He did go to jail. But who would have done that? Nobody. Now at the time when he fought, he comes out of retirement, 3 years of fighting the legal system. When he comes out of retirement, 1970, imagine this craziness. 1970, David Haye just was on a hiatus when he just retired for 3 years, right? David Haye, you must know David Haye's from Bermondsey boy, but he hangs out in BRIXTON. David Haye, former heavyweight champion of the world. Check this one out. Imagine you've been, your best parts of your career have been taken away from you. And then you come back straight in and you fight a top contender. David Haye's just come back as 2 pieces of rubbish on day 10. Now, I'm not disrespect today, come on boy, but could you imagine you've come out of retirement, Ali's first fight back was a man called Jerry Croy, who was ranked number 2 in the world. Jerry Croy was a dangerous, tough white guy. After 3 rounds, Ali just baffled him and beat him up. Then after that, he fights a man called Oscar Bonavina. Oscar Bonavina famously said that he's not going to call him Muhammad Ali, and his face said calling him Clay. He's calling him Clay, and Ali said, "Don't worry, you will call me by my rightful name in the ring." After 11 12 rounds, Ali beat him up. Then he gets to fight with Joe Frazier at the time, 1971, February 1971. That fight, they both got $2.5 million each. That is unheard of. That's ridiculous money. Ali loses that fight, gets knocked down in the 4th round, gets his jaw broke, badly swollen. Let's say 14, right? It gets up there. Let's say 15. Sorry, man. Sorry. It's not there. Let's say that, bro. I'm getting old, man. Let's say 14 rounds. Forgive me, man. Sky will sack me, man. Be careful, they're trying to make me lose my job. It's not there in the 14th round, lose the 15th round decision. What I'm saying to all of you is this. Ali became human when he lost. We kind of associate with him like, right, like Superman, like, we kind of felt with him. And his humbleness in losing, he was saying, well, he was a better man. I'm just going to take it how it is. But the soldier within him now, the soldier within him, came back, lost to Kenny Norton, revenge Kenny Norton. Kenny Norton gets knocked out by George Foreman. Joe Frazier gets knocked out by George Foreman. Ali fights George Foreman in a Rumble in the Jungle in October 1974. And after 8 rounds, Ali beats George Foreman. Nobody thought he was going to beat George Foreman. People thought he's actually going to die in that fight. When you measure the man of greatness, you have to look at this. To the man, Ali made affirmations. Now anyone here read The Secret? Come on, you know black people buy that rubbish. Right, read The Secret. You read all this affirmation book. Who's the first man that you ever heard say the I am and the power of the I am after him? Wasn't it Muhammad Ali? It was Ali, right? When he put the I am, you know what I'm saying? That anything that you come after the I am, that you're going to become. He said that he was the greatest even before he believed it. And now look, how many people come out to listen to this? How many people around the world taking on to this man Ali? Ali was a great, great man. Nobody would stand up for us as black folks like him. Nobody. Name me one. I ain't seen not one person. That's the only man that's going to be on my wall. That's the only man on my wall in my house. I'm telling you this, he made black cool. He made black accessible. He made black sexy. And that's the facts. So when you look on this now, when we say like we're going to celebrate a great man, we have to look on the great man as who he was. He's the greatest of all times. We should bow down in reverence to the man of what he stood for, what he lived for, and what he died for. But when you only truly die when you're forgotten, and nobody will forget Muhammad Ali. Peace.